Damn, so I didn't even get a second. I didn't even get a second to be nervous. I just had to snap into it. Hi, Rayan. How are you? I see you sent a request. A whole new system. Okay, I guess probably that was a mistake. I'm not sure. Good night, Akim. Hi, Miss Alyssa. I know Alicia got an MIA in the group. You know, I tell her I just go through that thing where my brain overstimulated. I do a lot in the day, so when the night comes, I just wanna. I don't know if it's too loud. I just hear myself and music extremely loud in my head, so I don't want to be too. Plus, I kind of have to upload this as well, so I don't want to have too much of copyrighted music in it. So, yes, I'm alive and well. Thanks for the hugs. Sending back. Yes, of course. Have a good night. Bye. I don't know why I choose tonight to go live because I really don't know how the intercall thing working, but I know people might be out there or probably a bad timing. I was just vibing the song. Alright. Let me put AI to work. I had a topic this morning when I decided that I wanted to put this up for going live, and I didn't write it down. Procrastination get the best of me as a human, and well, it's too late now, so I kind of have to talk about the next thing that I intend to talk about anyhow. Oh, you wanted to say hi? Hi. I don't know why Instagram Live just feel so much more. It's okay. It just feels scarier than TikTok Live. I don't even know why. It's kind of crazy. Probably because it doesn't have much people going live on here. At least on my end, I don't see it. I didn't realize that song was so long, and I kind of fed up listening to it already, and you have like 2 whole minutes again. It's nice, but I don't think it had to be that long. I just listen to this song just to get to that one piece that passed it. 4 minutes of my life every single time. Okay, let me put what I had in the thing to play that these people I know wouldn't tell me not shipping is for. Um, I don't know where half of these songs gonna come. By the way, it's when you say worth it, kindly elaborate. If at any point the song over showing up my voice, you can let me know. Alright, so I kind of had to pretend I'm not looking at the screen because my analytical brain seeing one person on the live is very interesting to me. It's like, you sure you want to keep talking to your screen like for the public? Because, some weird shit. Yeah, I hope you get audio clear enough so I can upload it on podcast on Spotify. Oh, okay. Alright, cool. So I can see myself there. I don't know if I can see all comments. I'm gonna watch for a bit and see. This should have a serious lag though, or that have a lag. My hand's still by my eyes. Unless that's how people see it. I don't know. Anyway, so let me get into yapping so I can make this make sense, right? So to the people who don't know me, my name is AB. I do almost everything when it comes to creating things. I don't like to say I'm a spiritualist type person, but I am a rebellion of society, I would say. You wouldn't just look at me and tell, but I truly am, and that's that. I'm not going to change that. I was telling somebody today, anything they say to do, I will not be doing it. And anything they say don't do, that is what I'll be doing. And I think it's absolutely fine to live life, just defying the social constructs or whatever they would say, you know? I think it's fun, it's nice. Because you realize when you go against what society expects you to do, nothing has happened. I think in every situation, the worst thing that can happen is death. That is the worst thing. And if you don't die, then you have another chance to make things make sense. And I'm not a motivational speaker, although when I listen back to some of my content, it does come across like that. But one question that I've always been asked every time somebody would we would cross paths in public is, are you a teacher? Everybody always want to ask, like, are you a teacher? Do you teach? Or you should teach, right? And I get it because I feel like that's one of the things that I do just by speaking. Like, we could be having a conversation and I'm going to teach you something. I ain't even trying, but it's going to happen. You could be confused about something. Anything, I don't even have to know about it. Just give me a word or a phrase and I can make something out of it for you that would make sense. It could convince you entirely that I make up that definition, but it's going to seem like that's facts. True words have never been spoken. So I know it's a gift, and I think a lot of people see this thing and this inconsistency. A lot of people have gifts that they don't really know are gifts, and other people can see these things in you that you might not be able to see. So, anyways, I say all of that to say that is my case. I'm not your, expected type teacher, but I promise you, in any interaction that we have, you will learn. So, I started this. It is a podcast, but if you were to say podcast, because I know the expectations behind podcasts and stuff is that, the audio has to have a type of vibe to it, which I don't have, but I feel like it's more about the content than the sound quality and, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to defy the odds and do what I want to do because I can. Nobody's going to stop me. I also live by this philosophy: be so good at what you do that nobody could deny you. Nobody could deny you your spot. A great guy once told me that, and he lived by that, and is so good that he cannot be denied his spot in different types of categories and levels that you wouldn't really expect. I don't think I said that right, but I know what I'm trying to say. I say that to say, to anybody who's on here, I really do hope that I can share something with you that you probably need to hear that can push your 2026 or the next 9 years of your life into a good direction. And I say 9 years for various reasons, but I feel like at 9 years, if some of the advice that I give you, if you take it today, by the time it's 9 years, you won't even realize it's 9 years because it's gonna feel like all days possible just merged into one, and your life just different. It's more peaceful. And I know when people talk about that, like they have this expectation that, oh, you're gonna tell me some shit about money, or this kind of. It sounds like, during COVID you had those then people always doing forex and thing. Always want you to hop on a call and learn something. I don't know. I guess it was a flex then. It sounds like that's one of the things that they would say. I'm here to tell you it is not. This is not what we're doing right now. I am actually sharing things that I've learned on my journey to the people who've been following me since 2023 whenever I start music. Y'all know I disappear for a period of time, right? And you know in the Caribbean, when a female disappears from the media, they say she breathe. That didn't happen, right? If anything, I gave birth to a whole new world of knowledge and wisdom that I cannot keep inside, because eventually I will start talking to myself in public and people will think I'm mad. And even if they think I'm mad, I wouldn't really care, so then they will send me in a mental institution. I thought about all of it, and it's either I go through that or I talk to myself on the camera, and put that shit out there. The cringe stuff is the stuff that we need to be doing. And I'm talking to people who are more so creatives. Although what I'm saying can apply to anybody, my target audience is creative people. I want to talk to the creative people because I feel like in Grenada, well, the Caribbean, but more so Grenada, because that's what I can talk about, we put so much limitations on what creative people can do. And I think with that, it kind of creates an environment or a society where unnecessary problems are happening. Like, people are depressed. Why are you depressed in the Caribbean when you have people all around the world that literally comes to the Caribbean to de-stress and get rid of their stresses and be happy and just roam? How come you living in a place that people come to get rid of their stress and you stressed? Something alright. It just boils down to how we live in life and all the thoughts that we have in our head and the things that were fed to us from a very supple age when information was, tailored in a way to control you. I don't want to get into the whole society thing because that's a whole different entity I have to access there within myself. That's some weird to say. Sorry, I didn't mean it like that, but that's a whole different zone I have to go in to pull out that information. I don't really want to go there right now. So we're going to stick on the creatives, and a common challenge that we have is getting recognized for our creativity, right? And at first I used to think it's the country, right, to blame. But then I realized I think it's us to blame, right? The creatives specifically. Because we want to create what we think people will like rather than what we know we want to do, right? So when you could be doing a genre that you want to do, you don't do that genre because you feel like, oh, soca is the only thing that gonna make it here, so let me go and do soca. And I'm not bashing soca music or soca artists, I'm just saying it's not the only route that you can take. And because your mindset is programmed in a type of way to tell you you must do soca in order to get the recognition, to make it out in the music industry, it's a lot of things that you do will kind of try to box you back in so that you don't fully express yourself and your creativity. And a lot of the times, especially I would say musicians more, or artists, for example, we have a lot in Grenada here that I personally think have a lot of talent, and they have, the ability to bring something different to the table, but it doesn't do it because, and I personally speak to a couple of them, they don't feel like what they want to do is going to get recognized. And I get that because although I didn't do it, before I got into doing music, I started off with dancehall. And the expectation for women doing dancehall is that it must be, sexualized. And quite frankly, I can't do it. Like, I can't create a persona that is that person because that's not me. I know who I am, so I would never do it. So I try to do something different, but I guess maybe I'm a little cocky or full of myself, and I think that's how we all need to be because nobody has the same level of talent that you have. Nobody have that same mindset that you have. They could come close, but your way of interpreting it is different. Nobody knows what the other is thinking and can never fully understand what you're thinking. I can explain all this as much as I can to you. If you don't have the mental capacity to get what I'm saying, you will get pieces, but you won't get a full story. And that's one of the challenges that we have, is like we put ourselves in that type of a box that we really don't have to. And when you get into the box now, time to come out, you're already mixed up with everybody else. When it's time to branch off, it looks like you lack consistency, you don't know what you want to do, you don't know who you are as an artist, and blah, blah, blah. Because they realize, okay, you start here, and then you jump here, and then you jump here, and all over the place. And for me, if I see you don't know what genre you want to be in, I don't really trust you as an artist to put music in my ears. But you put in your shit in my subconscious mind. I will not trust you if you don't trust yourself to be who you are from the beginning. Point blank. So I think that's why I decided that I am not going to categorize myself as an artist, like somebody who does music, but an artist as a creative being. I create in every different category. I don't want to. Oh, right. I didn't even do that. I didn't even explain that. So that's one of the things that I actually want to touch on, because I think we don't do it because of how taboo and weird it seems, right? So as I'm saying, I don't want to box myself in. I want to be able to create from my core, doing everything that I want to do without having to put myself in a category. So if I want to make dancehall tomorrow, some real dirty, I will make it. If I want to wake up tomorrow and sing a reggae, I will do that. If I want to sing a pop or a rock song, I will do that shit. You're not going to call me a dancehall artist. You're not going to call me a pop artist. You're not going to call me no type of artist. I am just an artist. I create. Because I could do the same thing that I do with music, I bet you, with a painting, with writing, poetry, doing books and stories and stuff. I am capable of doing the exact same thing. So I don't want to be known as just the girl that does music, because that's not what I do. So that's personally for me. There are a lot of other artists out here. I know some of you guys on here actually do music, and you are not just somebody who does music. You're probably good in videography, you're good in, graphics and all of these other stuff. But because we feel like we can't be all of our different personalities, or cannot express all of our creativities in one direct area, we try to just pick one and box ourselves in. We think that we have to be in one, but you don't have to. So I didn't get her picture, but I think you guys know the person. Once again, yeah, we need that good vibe music sometimes, but forcing that fancy stuff sometimes shows up the music. That is true. That is true. So to get into what I kind of really want to touch on is, I don't know if you guys know the girl that played Harley Quinn, right? There's 3 other women that look exactly like her, but they all have different names. So you look and you would think that's all different people because they have slight differences. But knowing how the industry is, and knowing how science has advanced and all of these things, it could actually be one person deciding to play different roles and different characters, right? Now, lately, I came to the realization that I think Jesus was a madman. And I feel like, we've developed a type of a bond, and I think I'm getting crazy. But at the end of the day, we have one life, and you're not coming out of this whole thing alive in this vessel, in this body. So just make use of the one round that you have with this one, and do whatever it is you want to do, and be happy. I'm not saying do no crazy nasty shit, but do what makes you happy. So I decided that if nobody don't want to try to do it, I will do it, because I have time. All I have is time. So if you guys see, let's do a collab. Me up. I'm not really up for doing collabs just yet. Not yet. But if I get around it, I'll connect with you. People in general have this tendency to kind of fight back with their true self and their true nature. And like I say, they're trying to put themselves in one way. So what I did is, the person that does music and the person that is speaking right now, the reality is it's 2 different people. I don't think I have a personality disorder or anything like that, but I think it is difficult for creative people because our personalities are amplified. Our creativity makes our personalities amplified. So however good you are in whatever area or field that you make your art or whatever in, if you have a personality for that person who creates, and you have a different vibe for when you're just chilling, when you're around friends, or when you're on work or whatever, those three personalities, you don't know it, but they all are intensified and they clash a lot of the time. So if you notice, a lot of these artists out here who making it big, they always have some kind of stress. Like, you make it, right? Why you still stressed? Why you still have this pain and tragedy and all something negative to sing about, some sufferation? It's because when these two, three, four huge personalities or sides of you clashing together, you don't have no middle ground to say, this is a center, this is where I'm coming back to. This whole thing that I'm doing, this whole podcast, is about knowing yourself enough to know when you need to compartmentalize and separate the artist from the functional work person, or just the person that exists in everybody else's life as a friend, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever it might be. When you get to that point of knowing how to separate everything, you would not have to start in a category of music and then switch over because you feel like based on what you want to do, they wouldn't accept you in here or they wouldn't accept you over here. When you know yourself and you find that middle ground, you create from that place of authenticity and from who you actually are, not who you think people out there gonna like, what you think they're gonna like, music that you think you're gonna like. I feel like I'm cooking, but I don't know what I'm cooking at this point, but I know I'm talking. Right? Like, fine. I think for this year, and that's something that I'm doing, and this whole point of this thing, getting to know yourself, is also about sharing a journey on how easy it is when you just let go and actually live the life that you want to live, that's more so aligned with who you actually are. Like, it's very easy, but at the same time, it can be difficult when you don't actually understand a lot of things about yourself and how the systems and whatever is shape up, which again is a whole other side topic. But I'm doing an interview with myself, who is also me. And it would look insane to think like that's the same person not talking. But the vibe, the connection is two different things that you would be getting, that you would get to experience. And that, unfortunately, that's how it is with most creative people. When they're doing music or when they're painting, that person either have extreme OCD, they have ADHD, they have some our pile of mental disorders, because it's like the way that they behave when they're making their art compared to how they would just be when they're chilling is two different things. And it does make you seem like if you're fake, but I think when you realize that all you have to do is find that middle ground and that balance, it doesn't matter if people think that you fake. Once you're in the middle there and you're happy, that is all that matters. That's the reality of things. So, anyways, without further ado, I'm about to talk to myself now, the artist, about my journey back into music, right? So, well, not back into, but with the whole how I got here right now doing this whole podcast thing in the first place, and why music had a lot to do with it, but in the way of not having that much. So I think it was last year. Yes, probably last year, 2025. So last year came off Instagram completely, right? And it was a whole journey for me. It was an experience. I don't know, like last year I feel like I lived 10 years in just a couple of months, which was it was kind of crazy at first, but when I really look back at it, at a certain point when I said, you know what, I'm gonna put music on hold, it's like I had a moment of, if you love something, you let it go, and if it comes back to you, then you know that it was yours in the first place or to begin with, whatever it is that they say. So I felt like I had to let it go. I had to put a pause on it for the time, and I had to get to that place of like, okay, I love what it is I'm doing, but at the same time, right now, I cannot create from a place of being authentic. So it's just like, if you can't be authentic, then just don't make anything, because that's not a true representation of who you are. It's just, you're trying to force things into existence. So no music, I'm just thinking about, okay, what is this I want to really do then if I'm not doing music. Because for as long as I know myself, I would just picture wherever it is I live in must have a studio. I must be able to do music. I don't want to be working at 9 to 5. I want to do music all day, every day. Just music, right? But not music only, but just create, like art, like paint and all of these things. I know that's what I want to do. So since I know myself, I've been focused on the music aspect, but I didn't really give like painting and writing and all of these other things a shot. So I say, you know what, let me see what this year bring, get into cooking, videography, all of these things, real experiences. And it was nice. It was nice. But at some point, every single time I felt like, okay, things are good, I would feel a shake. And then I would just somehow end up on YouTube listening to some of the old songs that I did, right? And every single time I listen to those songs, I would get these chills like, what the fuck you doing? Like, what you really doing? You're seriously not going to sing anymore? Just what you really doing? Like, what's your point right now? And listening to the songs from a perspective of fresh airs, I didn't listen to this in months and I'm just coming back to this now. I can see how much potential I have, but didn't really feel like how to put it. I know I have the ability to do great things vocally, right? Let's say it like that. But at the same time, feel limited because of probably lack of the resources or, not meeting certain societal expectations for the podcast listeners, air quotes, societal expectations, right? So I know for a fact I know what I want to do, but at the same time, I still restricted myself. So, a couple times, I would get the vibe and I would go back and do music. And then I would say, nah, I don't ready, and stop. Get a vibe again, I ain't ready. Get a vibe, I ain't ready. This last time, and that's the exact day I put back the account and everything on, I was just, so I do this ever so often, meditate, look through the window, I can see like the sky and sunrise and everything. And it's almost like a song was given to me, which I'm very excited to share with you guys. Which you, when it's ready, I want it to be like a really nice project. But it's like a song was given, and in that moment, I didn't get just a song, right? I got like it's something a little cringe and cliche to say, but it's like a message. It's a message not just for me, but like for generations from this soil, this island here. But not just the island, but like the Caribbean, the world in general. It's almost like the earth was freaking talking to me. And that's why I say I know Jesus is a madman, and I know that I feel like I get it mad too, because some of the things that I want to talk about is just it's crazy. But in his lessons he talked about those things. And this is I'm not don't get me wrong, not a religious person, also not an atheist person. I'm just walking the earth. So during my time away, I was in my sabbatical, I discovered that I'm an earth walker. I don't want to be in no religion, no box, no nothing. No spirit, no name, no nothing. I'm walking the earth. This is literally what it is that we're doing. We come here to learn about it. We didn't come here to be taught from somebody else's perspective. So I'm there and I told myself, this is what we want to do. We want to make a project, but to say what that song is really trying to say. But it's not like a piece that you could just say, okay, when I got this song, this is the message I came, da da da. You have to see where it's coming from. You have to see okay. I am given the song, I am living the song. Because the song is not just a song like a message. It's not just a piece like you could say, just a song, just a melody, something you could vibe to. It's like all of the art that I'm able to do that we know comes into one. You'd be able to visualize it, you'd be able to feel it, to hear it, to experience it in a way that is different from what we're accustomed to. And when I stopped for a moment and I thought about it from that perspective, I'm just looking at how many times we, as a creative group, we get these inspirational moments where we write something or we take a picture of something or we sing something, we hum something, and that's some gold, but you don't do anything with it because your first thing is, I don't have the studio equipment. I can't go and record. I can't do this. Nobody don't know me. I don't have a YouTube channel. I don't have this. It's always what you do have and never what you have. It's always what you don't have and never what you have. You have the song, you have the poem, you have the art piece. All you have to do now is find a way to show it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Not everything has to be in 4K. Not everything gotta be in 4K. Please understand that everything gotta be in 4K. Everything doesn't have to be high def audio. Everything does not have to be mixed and mastered. It doesn't have to be recorded on a studio mic. It does not. Sometimes all it takes is you using your phone and creating from there. I know I was cooking it. Somehow every single time I'm doing one of these, I always coming back to this one point, right? Here the one point. This is an ad, by the way, that I created for myself. Today's I'm sorry, I had to get accustomed to doing this because this shit is gonna get cringier and cringier. So today's podcast was sponsored by Anna.G&D. It's called A's New Life Academy. I'll work on it and I'll get it to clarity eventually, just not yet. This agency really works with creative minds, helping them to express themselves, really find a way to make a living off of their living, meaning getting paid to exist. No, like I said, please understand, this is not one of those things where we're going to get into, oh, you got to sign up here and do this, and this is a 30-day that, and you get this group. None of that. It's actually free. It's an ebook that I created. It's a guide, that ebook. Whatever did I say in the digital marketing community? I think it's linked in my page somewhere, but I will put it after in the story. Literally giving you the blueprint on how to monetize your life, your creativity, your art. And I'm not saying that you're going to just do what it says and in the morning you're going to wake up making money. No. The way that you live, once you are who you are, I have this firm belief. This is one of the policies that, not policy, what I say, the founding mottos, the words that we stand on, that we believe in. When you are doing what you are meant to do, when you are living and you're being true to yourself, all of the abundance and the riches of the earth gravitates to you. It's the law of attraction. If you do what you're supposed to be doing, you're attracting things. But when you're chasing things, like you want to chase some promotion at your 9 to 5, naturally, we ain't supposed to be working at 9 to 5. So already, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You ain't about to get the abundance. But go check out the ebook or the guide. Tell all of this shit just getting cringe. It's just getting cringe. But will I stop? No. Never shall I stop. Kevin, I'm not sure if you're still here, but I'm gonna accept. So yeah, that was the ad, by the way. We'll work on it, like I said. We're working on it. Do the cringe thing. Anyways, back to the segment, guys. So like I was saying, I'm starting to feel, I feel like TikTok, doing live on TikTok was much easier than here. Like the Instagram crowd is very fucking tough. All the tough. One person on the live. So crazy. Will I stop? No. So like I was saying, we tend to be waiting until we have things to do things. Do what you can with what you have. I promise you, it's not going to take away from the quality of your work and who you are as a person. I have seen multiple people, and I like to use music because I sing, that's my thing, go viral off of somebody just passing on the side of the street and just recording them on their phone. Post them to Instagram, YouTube, wherever, they go viral. The song in its natural raw state, that's okay. In its natural raw state, it sounds good and it goes viral regardless. They didn't have to have no mix and master, no auto-tune, nothing added. Your excuse is lame. You don't have a reason for why you're not doing what you want to do. Nobody has a reason for it. If you want to write, notebook and pen is very cheap. Everybody have it. Get yourself one. Start writing. Everybody have a phone with a camera. Get yourself one. Start filming. It doesn't matter. Like I said, not everything has to be in 10K. because apparently the Ks keep going up. I don't know what for, but the Ks are going up. Not everything has to be in 10K. Not everything has to be high def audio. Sometimes all it takes is your one little phone that already has a microphone and a camera. You film your content and you post it on your page. Nobody cares. Listen, the funniest, most retarded, the thing that's make my day the most is the low quality memes on IG. Wherever. It's always the low quality shit that sometimes you can't even recognize what's going on. But then millions of people will see it. When this guy there, Cabby, when he went, Mr. wasn't saying nothing first of all, and Mr. Camera quality was not it. Who making billions now? Who making billions now? It's very easy. It is very easy. So that's not what this is really about. This was a very long ad, but thank you guys for being here so far. It's really supposed to be a segment for the creative. So if you are creative, that first part of this whole thing tonight, you missed it. I'm sorry. Be on time next time, so you're gonna benefit. But I'll upload this on Spotify. Oh, the craziness is getting worse. I will upload this on Spotify, so I'll share the link. You guys can always come back and listen. I don't know. I feel like there are gonna be complications, but we're living in the now. I don't care about what the future has going on. It's not my business. Right now, it's right now. I talk a lot. Wow. Give me a moment. You can go bust down middle part side. You can go by or you can go blind. You got your own shit, you don't stay with these niggas. You got your own business, got more paper than these niggas. They think you mean you ain't got shit to say to these niggas. How cool it actually means to be on the radio. Like, you know you a bad bitch. Classy nails, fresh tip. That's enough. I find his voice annoying, like you're bad. Yeah, that song I wanted to play and I forget the song. I want to play local artist songs. Of course I will start with mine, but I'll see if I can get some stuff. I feel like whenever I'm doing lives, just to set the expectation, I might start doing some interviews. I don't know. Once you guys come on and share your thoughts, share your views, share your opinions on things, any topic. Ever so often, I want to talk to a couple artists. I don't know, like I feel like we need to missing something. Like we're missing some form of entertainment, some form of vibe. Like I just look at places like Trinidad. I say in places like so many of them, it's mostly Trinidad. They have like so much of their people are making content, like their content creators over there. It's almost like everybody giving out a little snip of what Trinidad life is like, or how Trinidad this operates and whatever. And it's more like little movie, like little episodes. So it's like an America, like we watching episodes of what's going on with the Trinidadians on our devices, right? They don't reach on Netflix and thing yet, but I bet you Carl Jr. Lee, one of these people on them going to be on one of these streaming platforms. I bet you. I ain't even putting a doubt on it because people like that, oh my God. When I start talking, I just shut up. That's why I does not talk. That's why I don't like to talk to people. But then again, too, as I say, I might get mad. People like that, those kind of visionaries, like they started when nothing was making sense. I sure all can remember when they're editing their content and stuff, like shit wasn't as smooth as it is now. Now it's like little movies and things that we're watching, little episode. Thing real entertaining, proper acting, proper scripting and thing. It's not no take up your phone and film no more. It's this is a production. They're going to different places again, different people involved. Like that is the kind of vibe. Like what we really have going on. We don't have nothing going on down here. We don't have nothing going on down here. As a type of person, I don't like to identify with no box. And being a part of our country already boxing me in enough. To be a part of our country that don't do nothing, that have nothing going on, that has to be a prank because no way I am going to sit here knowing how much entertaining shit I have going on in my head. Knowing, dude, listen, I'm not gonna do that. I can't do that. So if either I get cast as lost my shit or I don't know. Something will happen. I thought it was the actual song. She tricked me. Y'all know King Kunta by Kendrick Lamar. I didn't feel like I'm gonna take it out. If that gets a copyright strike, I don't. But I kind of want to listen to that song. I'm sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. Hold on, King. I kind of like the So, hear me out. It's very unorthodox, but I'm gonna get one of those DJ sets thingies that it is having in the radio studio. Nah, I want to live this. This is the life I want to live. I made up my mind. It is done. It's the song. Yeah. It's been years. Bear with me. One question. Which way you and I was walking? Now run again, get the whole world talking. King Kobe, everybody wanna cut the legs up. Black man taking no less. Which way you and I was walking? Now run again, get the whole world talking. King Kobe. I don't understand. Drake, how he even had the guts to go up against this piece of art, boy. The year Mr. Coward dead beat. You can smell it when I'm walking down the street. I can dig right in. But I'm rapping with a ghost rider. What the fuck happened? I swore I wouldn't tell. So do you think it's been beefing on this thing? Cool. And if I get around nose for some gold, then I'd rather be a problem than a motherfucking problem. Each way you and I was walking. Now I'm running again, get the whole world talking. Keep going, everybody wanna cut the legs up. Black man taking no less. Each way you and I was walking. Now I'm running again, get the whole world talking. Keep going, everybody wanna cut the legs up. When you got the gas. I feel like shit's in my bones and yeah, I'm running out of the Can you imagine listening to this shit when you're high? Like, feeling all the bass to your body, like, ugh. And it just keeps getting sweeter because the incline just keep going, and it's almost like okay, I ain't about to say that. This man spoke that shit into existence 10 years ago now. Intentional. Dory. Next week we're going to talk about the power of music and reality creation. Alright, so satisfy my desires. Recipe.
By the time you hear the next pop, the funk shall be within you.
Yeah, funk was within me way before that. Anyways, yeah. So as I said, we're gonna have next week. I'm gonna talk about music and the reality creation. Since for 10 years ago, Kendrick spoke that whole shit with him and Drake, that suicide attempt they into existence. And I feel like we would have never caught that if we were not like aware of the what happened. Like not we, but I didn't catch it. Me personally, as I didn't catch it until now, but it's so evident now because it already happened and you could. That's a whole other topic. Everything is a whole other topic because while we think it's not that deep, trust me, it can be that deep. But at the end of it all, it's really just binary. Zeros and ones. Life, everything. It's really just that. Is it that this or that? up or down, in or out, basically. So it actually never really is that deep. Just saying. But the music thing, I don't know how. No. Man at the garden. The music thing with I would not remember what I write there, writing like a freaking doctor. Phyllis. Yeah, so the reality creation thing and the music speaking things into existence, that shit is so serious and so deep and so crazy that a lot of people don't really pay much attention to it like how they should. So we would hear artists singing and talking about their fames and what they're doing and thing at a point when they don't have it yet. But then they say it so much that when they do get it, it gonna feel like there was never a time that they didn't have it, right? And gosh, I don't like to use my friend for example. Girl, I text you all long ago. I don't want your message now. A lot of the times we just listen to when they just start off and it's like, okay, they're interesting, that you talented. We're not listening to what they're saying, but we're listening to their flow and their vibe. But then when it gets to that point where they actually get what it is they were singing about all the time, right? It's only then people will start to pay attention to, oh, so he have them things, she have them things. Like, how they get that? They doesn't pay attention to it in the process when they were speaking it into existence, right? So now I'm going to take out the whole music aspect behind it and just focus on the lyrics behind it, because the music, the beats, the keys, the whatever pitch that songs go into, that's a whole other different mind science by itself, which we're not going to touch on, right? The music, the lyrical part of the music, it is also a form of art, and that's what exactly why I say I'm not a artist that does music, but in general, just an artist, a creator. That's it. Because when you sit and you start to write a song and you put us like you create a scene in your mind. Remember, a lot of the times, what you put into the song, I can't say remember because not everybody doing music, but what you put into the song, what you put into the song is something that you create out of your mind, eh? And it's an idea that didn't necessarily exist the way that you would it, but then when you start to talk about it, it's now into existence because you put a lyric, you put words, you put that on paper, you brought that into the third dimension, 3D, the physical, what you can see, feel, and touch, right? You brought that in there. The more you say it, that's what they say, words have power. Words are not wind. I don't know who made that shit up, but it's a lie. Promise you it's a lie. It's a lie. And how I know it's a lie, right? Hear me out. Let me cook. We're making pea soup. You ever notice children, right? If you hit a child, you slap a child, you tell them to do something, but you physical pain is involved, they will do it again. But the trauma does not be the same like when you tell a child certain things that are hurtful or something that makes them feel embarrassed or self-conscious because they're so young they don't even understand. The words affect children more than the physical pain. You can heal from a physical wound. You do not remember the pain that you feel unless it's some really crazy stuff. And I'm sorry if you're one of the people, but cut that again when I was a little girl. I don't remember how that feels. I see the scar there, but me don't know how that feels, so that does not affect me. But you see things that was said to me, I remember that shit clear as day, and I will not forget it because it's those things that is really affect you. So it's the same way when you're creating music or you're creating anything, you're writing anything, you're speaking anything, the things that you say, they're going into your mind and your behavior is now altered based on those words that you're hearing, those words that you're speaking. So why they end up having everything that they want is because they kept repeating it in their life. People will say it's delusion, or you feel it so. Yes, it is so. Yes, it is so. That's how things happen. The more you say it, the more it becomes a reality. I don't know if I'll say, yeah, like the man lies so good. He convinced himself that the lie was the truth. When a person lie about a situation, they lie about it so pure, so that they don't even remember that it was a lie that they told. That's how powerful words are. So words are not wind. I'm sorry. Words are not wind. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I just always say, be careful what you're saying and make sure the things that you're saying is the things that you really want. So when it comes down to you now creating your music and writing your poems or whatever it is, or whatever it is you're saying on the media, anyhow, I don't know what life you guys choose to live. But when it comes down to all of that, the things that you're going to experience is going to be authentically you, like for you, yours, because that's what you wanted. It's going to be the things that you want and spoke into existence. So, and it's so funny how everything that we say, well, not we, but me, and I believe that the things that come in my brain make sense and they're accurate because my brain will never lie to me like that. When it comes to, I didn't ask it that question, it's giving me information. You see, when you ask yourself something, when you ask, like, why this happening or where do that fall? When you ask them things, stories will start creating your mind as to what you think was a possibility. But if I don't ask no question and my brain started giving me information, then I know that information coming from source because we don't know. I didn't ask myself this. Nobody asked me this question by talking without stopping. That's how words work. That's how, and it's kind of funny because not everybody gonna hear what I'm saying the way that I'm saying it. Again, that's a whole other topic. The more that you guys are here, you're gonna realize that everything says the same thing, but there are different concepts, different storylines, different things that you could put together to make it understandable for you. And that's why we have so much teachers. That's why you have so much religion, so much all kind of thing out there, so much prophets and all of these things. I wish I had my lock still. Maybe all would have see this as a consciousness podcast and not just me just yapping. We're very conscious and work out here. Lock it. Right? You're gonna see that all of these different teachers, all of these different people, they're trying to tell you the exact same thing, right? Do what is right for you. Follow your path. Follow your calling. And rain is falling. That rhyme. I think I want to go in my bed. I love running and falling to go and sleep, but I'm gonna try to make sure I finish all the 7 minutes. You'll finish the 7 minutes. I think I talked for a lot. It's been an hour. So I believe, and that's just my belief, you're entitled to your own opinion and belief system. When you're living how you're supposed to be living and you're actually walking on the path you're supposed to be walking on, you have nothing that can make your life so disrupted that shit just not working out for you. What would happen? You would have unfavorable days, unfavorable experiences. Things might not go as you want them to go all the time. But the general outlook of things is going to be steady. It's going to be where you want to go because that's your authentic self. That's you being true to who you are. That's what you really want to do. That's what feels right to you. It's not something that somebody tells you to do. When you're doing what you want to do, life will be easy. People might watch you and think, oh, you're doing so much, you're all over the place, you may be tired, but it's so easy like breathing. It's easy. Like getting to that point where the life that you're living, I can't be a good DJ, I need somebody to DJ for me. When you get to that point that the life that you're living is so smooth and so effortless that you could, or no, let me change it. When you realize that what paying for you and sustaining your living is so easy, it's like living, correct. That work that you're doing, that whatever you're getting paid from, like say if it's music you're doing, again, paid from your music, if it's painting, if it's whatever, when you realize that that is what giving you your money, you just existing, when that hits, or you will catch what I was trying to say. And it's very easy. I'm not going to say that I'm here to teach you how to get to that point, but I've gotten to that point and I want to help other people get to that point. So that's what all of these conversations are really going to be about. Things that I learned on my journey that helped me, things that I figured out, things that was taught, not really taught by someone else, but information that I gathered for myself on the authenticity aspect of things and being yourself and walking on your path and just how to make a living off of your living, your existence. It's nice, it's kind of cool, and it doesn't matter where you're from. That's why I want to really bring it out there, because we tend to think that you must be in the US or the UK or Japan or China, wherever, to make, a different way of living. People always think once you're in the Caribbean, it's a 9 to 5 and that's it. Like, your options are limited because everybody want to make money online, but all of them know how to make the money online. It's not what they're telling you. It's really not that. Making money online, and that's, again, this is not what this is about. But I'm just trying to say, everything in the end, once you're doing what you're supposed to do, abundance, wealth, happiness, love, joy, everything will just find its way to you. So I guess my real aim is to help people to just really be true with yourself and do what it is you want to do what you're supposed to do what feels right to you, so that the balance would be restored in the earth, because a lot of crazy shit going on. It's really too much to talk about, and it's only going on because everybody trying to be what they're not and do something that they think makes sense because everybody else doing it, but half of the time it don't make sense. Like, everybody can't be doing the same thing, everybody can't be looking the same way, saying the same, thinking. Some people will have to be different. And the sad thing is, Grenada is one of the places I personally, this is me just running my mouth with the wideness of it, I feel like we have the least number of awoken people. Hear me out for a second. And when I know when people hear awoken, they think about, spirituality stuff. No. When I say that, like, people who actually online in the brain, like, who using their brain how they're supposed to use it. This thing with using the minimum capacity to just wake up, go to work, interact with people I really want to interact with, and then come back home, that don't make any sense to me. Personally, again, that is my opinion. I feel like when it's 3 o'clock in the evening and the Sunday midway, I should be able to take off my shoe and go in the grass and lie down and walk if I want to, or go on the beach. I shouldn't have to wait until 5 o'clock to go outside and get some sunlight. That's just my take on things. And if everybody, I said this in my other live that's about to be released on Thursday. If everybody, right, actually sit down for a second and look at how the scales are balanced. You know how society is structured, you would think that the working class and the unemployment class is two different things. Like, is either unemployed or employed. No. You could be employed, but still closer to unemployment than stability, just so you know. I heard this thing on the radio one morning I was going on when they were talking about the oil prices and they're telling people about I tell her to stack up and when he hits all they could feel it. And the announcer said, he said this, and this is when the bell went off in my head. Oh, so all they're doing this shit too. He said 95% of the population will feel the squeeze, but 5% wouldn't, but 95% will. So first thing that's telling me is it's not that deep and it's not that serious. If the 5% wouldn't feel it, then it's really not the end of the world. It just means that we will have a little bit of separation, and if you really have it, then you're gonna be fine. But I think the country are already accustomed with separation. Anyways, we're not going in that direction. Let's hold it off for a second. He said the 95% would feel it and the 5%. Now, I am thinking 95% of the population is working and is a combination of unemployed. And it just made me realize that is the people who are not working that are the real people who are living out here, and it's only 5% of the population. Again, I personally don't find it making sense to be in the category with the majority. Because why? Like I said, this is your one life and you can do whatever you want. If you want to be a part of the 5%, you could be a part of the 5%. And it's never that complicated. It's never that difficult to get there. You just have to decide that this is what you want to do and you stick to it. In everything, it's all about consistency. I know people who For example, and I'm not saying that I know him personally, but I saw his growth from a distance, and it was amazing to me because he continued. The guy that Dre official, I think, who does the content down here, the with the locks and stuff. We were in Time CC at the same time. And I used to see him, walking around with his cam and, his stuff and taking videos. And I was like, what is this guy doing? Like, he's so weird. Like, why are you doing that? Like, hello, this is Grenada. What are you doing? And it's amazing to see years later what he's doing, where that has taken him, how far he's taken it, how great his skills has become. And when I think about it, I always tell myself, if you had started then too, you would be just as far ahead as he is right now, or maybe even further, depending on what you're doing and how you apply yourself. It's the same with everything in general. Is either you apply yourself in the area that you really feel drawn to and you stick to that shit, you be consistent, because at the end of it all, if you're really not doing what you want to do, then why are you even doing it? You're basically wasting your time. You're basically wasting your time, and time is not something you can get back. So I personally, and I'm going to say it all the time, I don't think it makes sense to waste your brain capacity on stressing on how your 9 to 5 treating you when you have the rest of the hours of the day, the 6 to the let me say about 6 to 6, because you're wasting the other time getting to work. 6 to 6, that's your time. That is your time. Like, find something that you love doing and start monetizing your existence off of that shit. Like, it could literally be just streaming. It could be doing this. I know people who make money off of doing stuff like this. Like, I know people who just creating videos and throwing it up on YouTube, they make their money. I know people who learn how to read charts in trading. They learn that shit, they master that shit, and they make their money easy. Like, it's almost like this. Whenever they're running low on funds, they go, they call a couple signals, and they make back the money to spend for the day. And then they make money for the month in a day. It's like you just find something and you lock in on that. To me, that's what 2026 is about. Like, locking in on that thing that you know for a fact felt like it's the right thing to do, and it just flowing seamlessly, effortlessly, like this. Since I know myself, I would say since COVID 2020, I have ventured into content creation, and I want to do videos, I want to talk, I sing, whatever. May how much YouTube. I have a problem at this point. Just the same way I made numerous Instagram accounts, but that's a story for another day. We're not about to do it. And like I said, I'm always being led back to music. But then I realized it's not about the music. It's about the voice. Another funny thing, my name actually means voice. It's almost like they know that I will be so freaking stubborn and want to do everything that they have to give me my name had to be what I'm supposed to use. It's like that. It's how life works sometimes. Like, I'm sorry. We'll save that for next day. But it's like they know it. I was given a name, that means this is what I have to use. So yes, I will be into music. Yes, I will do as much as I can. But in the end, everything pushes me back to speaking to people. Everything that I went through, and I'm not gonna come and say I'm gonna share my whole life story and all of it. I will not do that. I am sorry, we're not gonna do that. But what I am able to do is share my experience in this thing called life from the perspective of a very authentic, down to earth place of this is me here. I broke through the barriers of anxiety, very severe depression. It's almost clinical, but I don't like to do this whole thing with doctors and them prescribing stuff for my mood. I will fix that. To the point of being overweight, to the point of being, I don't know, sick, some all kind of ways, all kind of how, to just not being happy in general. Like, my whole existence was like, ugh. Not being able to come on a camera. I remember about a year or some ago, I cried the very first night that I had to go live on Instagram. Because why? Afraid. I'm so shy. I don't have the confidence. I don't think I can do this shit. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous. Da, da, da. Now look at me. Years later, 2 years later, And I'm doing this, I'm talking in front of the camera with nobody looking. I'm not seeing anybody. But it's not going to make me stop, because when you really think about it, this one person or two people that are here right now, in the next 6 months, it might be 1,000 people or 10,000 people if I remain consistent. It's the same way with you, with your music, with your art, with your business, whatever it is you're doing. You start off now and you realize, oh, I don't get the results that I want. Yes, of course, I would love to be talking to 100K people right now. I would love that. But at the same time, if I don't appreciate the one, and the two and the little half and the in and out and thing like that, then how am I going to get to that 10K? Because you know what's gonna happen? I don't think that the one is good enough. I feel embarrassed. I start off with one and it don't going nowhere, and this is not what I want. So I ain't doing that again. That's a lot of our stories. Like, we start off with things and we realize, I don't feel like I like that, because that don't working out as fast as I wanted. It's only day 2, and I feel like I should have make a sale already on this, all this kind of thing, or somebody should have booked me. Okay, how about you try to make it to day 12 without stopping? If you are consistent, if I show up here every single, what it is, Tuesday. If I show up here every single Tuesday at 9 p.m. and I do the same thing over and over again 12 times, the results from the first time to the second time is going to be completely different. Oh my God, it's going hard. I sit on pillows, I just have no ass. It's the same thing with your music, your art, your food, your hair business, your nail business. People are not going to give a fuck in the beginning. This is me gaslighting and giving myself therapy. No, because it's things like this that sometimes we need to hear. I need to hear it. But a lot of the other people wouldn't say it to anybody else, because it's like nobody want to say it. Everybody embarrassed. They don't want to do this. Everybody want to stay in their own little shell. Like, do your thing. Sometimes you have to gaslight yourself and say, "I's the baddest artist out there. I's the most," whatever it is you had to say. Say that shit and live like that is true. And do not give a shit if anybody think you're delusional for it, because yes, I am delusional. And yes, I think that I'm talking to 100,000 people right now, and that is okay. Because if you don't believe in the shit that you do, and if you don't feel like this makes sense, then why I should feel like your shit makes sense? If you don't have faith in it to stick out with it, I do. Like I said, if you can't stick in a category of music, I don't trust you as an artist. I don't. Because you don't trust yourself, I'm not going to trust you. So, at the end of the day, it all comes down to what we were saying since the beginning of this shit. Tell all I was making some pea soup. When I come back to everything, you have to know who you are at the core as a creator, as anybody. And like I said, this is more for the creators, music, art, whatever it is you're doing. You have to know yourself at the core to know how to center, to know, okay, yes, when I'm doing music, I'm intense and I could be disrespectful. At the same time, when I'm chilling, I'm just normal, as the most visited out person that there is. At the same time, when I'm working with other people, I have this corporate side. It's almost like you have to know at the end of the day, when I get back into my core, what am I really doing? Am I the corporate person? Am I just the chill guy? Or am I the person that is doing music for a living? Who am I? Who am I to the core? Find that shit, live according to that shit, and everything else that you want, it could be the love from people, the money, the whatever, it's going to come to you. Like, you had to very out of timing. Very out of timing. I don't want it. Apple will try to abuse people to update software. What the fuck? Every single week. Anyways, I think I said everything that I had to say. The core of it all. Find your core. It's all about the core. Core, 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 core. Find that shit. Live according to that shit. And just let shit come to you. The attraction ability. Also, like I said, I don't think it's the link in this bio, but you guys can check out the link in the bio to get the how to get paid to exist guide. Also, this is not one of those things where that's what we're doing, but I'm practicing to announce my sponsors on here because shit about to get pinched. But my time has elapsed. I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in. We'll be back here again next week. I don't know what today is. Today's Tuesday, right? Next week, Tuesday at 9 p.m. Also, I'll be uploading an episode tomorrow. I lie on Thursday. Days of the week off. Yeah, I'll post that link when I do. Thank you all for being here. I'm gonna do what I initially want to do.